Hi everyone, welcome to Linux 6. Little introduction about Linux. We do Linux when there are members from our own community likes to share some learnings from their own experiences and all. And long back we got a lot of requests from the community that they want to get started with N8N. So we want to clarify one thing beforehand that this session is the way you will be able to get started with N8N. And if someone is already an expert, it might not be useful for them. But if you haven't ever started with anything, or if you would have started and 10 minutes later you felt like it is kind of overwhelming, so this session will be perfect for you. Like we said, there will be four parts to this. First of all, there is the basics. Then we are going to be deep diving into tools and different nodes. Then Priyank will actually take you through building a workflow on his own live, and feel free to do it in parallel on your laptop if you are on laptop right away. And N8N is free for 14 days. Free sign up is there, so you can probably give it a hit. And thanks Priyank for doing this. Over to you, Priyank.
Hi everyone, thank you so much. Everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for coming, and lovely to see you all here. I would like to take 5 minutes of your gracious time to introduce myself. Right, we are gonna dive into AI automations with N8N for marketers and founders, real world use cases with zero coding, of course, presented by me. Basically, hi, my name is Priyank, and you might say that I've had a bit of a professional identity crisis. Okay, I started off as a BTech CSE grad, ran away from coding, and then I dove into sales, then marketing, and now I'm deep diving into AI automation. Why? Because I have this constant thirst to know what's happening out there, and I love solving the problems which are coming up in smarter and faster ways, right? And now here's the twist. I do not know how to code, right? Everything that you will see, in fact, in this session, even in my BTech days, I used to avoid coding like we all used to avoid our ATM lectures. So that is why this session is gonna be, I think it's gonna be different, because it's coming from a no-code person, and this is exactly why it might just work out for you. I'm not here to impress you guys with technical wizardry. I'm here to share what AI automation is allowing us people to do, and how we, like the marketers, the founders, the doers, we guys can get into it and we guys can start it with it. So all the stuff that I've built, all the stuff that I'm going to share, it's on a no-code tool, which is N8N. And believe me when I say this, whenever I got stuck into any problem, my genius solution to it was doing ChatGPT. That's it. Right. So I'm not here, once again, I'm not standing here as a know-it-all expert, right? I'm standing here as a peer who has just started off a little bit earlier than you guys, or have explored a little bit more into the field of AI automation. And once again, if I can do it, I totally believe that you guys can do it too. Let's get started. Thank you for hearing me out. Let's start off with what this session is about. Okay, we are diving into this. Now, what this session is, okay, it's about the real world use cases in AI and N8N. Okay, we are of course gonna build stuff, but we are also going to know what practical solutions can we provide, and what business problems can be solved, and we can save our times. May it be from a marketing perspective, may it be from a founder's perspective, like saving any section of the business that's there. Then who is this for? It's for marketers, founders, business operators. It's basically the tailored content for professionals who need practical automation solutions, right? And it's built on no code tools, right? So you don't need coding experience, and you don't even need to know a single line of code and how to type code. Right, that's how the session is built. And by the end of this session, I can guarantee that you will be able to deliver and build at least the basic and maybe intermediate level of N8N as well, and very comfortably without typing a single line of code. I'll tell you tricks on how you can do that. So yes, anyone can implement these solutions without any prior programming experience. What this session isn't about. Okay, who is this session not for? It's not a development bootcamp. I'm not going to teach you a coding course or something. Then it's not a theory heavy tech lecture, right? I'm not going to dive into exactly what techie stuff goes on in the back end of N8N or something like that. I am aiming to do it just for the application point of view, right? What's the applicable knowledge which I can share? And then of course, not focused on code first automations, right? So there are code first automations which are built on Python, LangChain. Those are code based platforms. So you'll have to type in like lots and lots of codes and all, and then you do the same things which we're probably going to do here without typing any code. Starting off, section 1 was the intro. Let's start off with part 2. What is N8N? It's a visual workflow automation tool. Now, what does that mean? All the elements which are there, you can create powerful automations. Now, what is an automation? What it says it to be, right? Anything which is happening on a recurring basis, and it has a system attached to it. So basically, if you have hired an intern and you have asked it to fill this sheet every day, and you have to do this every day, or you have some work which you know that has the same process and you have to do the same things every day exactly, that process is technically what you are doing manually, and that process is what can be automated. Now, building the flow is called the automation or a workflow of that automation, right? So this is a visual workflow automation too. Means you can build that same automation by typing codes and typing big code lines and all. But here in N8N, you get individual nodes. Okay, I'll use this word nodes. Nodes is more like an icon, you can say, or a place or a box where some processing happens. So those are nodes. Let's start off with that. Okay, you will have visual nodes, and every node will have its own functionality. So the functionality would be defined, of course, one by us and two by what node we are selecting. Hence why we dive into the next point, which is open source and developer friendly, that you can customize and extend this entire thing as you need. You can attach as many nodes and as many functionalities as you want in your workflow or in your automation. And it has a simple drag and drop logic. Means basically you have a panel on the right side where you have a lot of nodes already present, which are pre-built. Okay, you can simply take them, put them in the workflow, and they will start functioning for you. You don't have to build that node. Those are already pre-available nodes in N8N. And that is why I believe that N8N is brilliant, right? Because it's a great alternative to Zapier and Make. Now, I have not used Make very extensively. I've seen a couple of videos. I've used Zapier. Zapier comes with a lot of restrictions and all, but N8N gives you a lot more flexibility. I'll give you this simple comparison chart also just after this. But yeah, you guys got a gist of what N8N is. It's a visual workflow tool. Jisme basically you are connecting a lot of nodes and you are making stuff happen. That's it. You're automating something which is already systematically defined. Next, why should we use N8N? Now it's open source. Now you have heard of this word open source quite a lot. I'll simplify it for you. It's not very complex, not very something like that. Open source, basically it's available to the public to customize as much as you want, right? You do whatever you want with it. Correct. It's like a blank canvas and you have the pen or you have the paint. You do whatever you want. That's open source. That's it. Open source basically means you have the full control over your data and your workflows. You have self-host options. Okay. Self-host means, so hosting, I'll dive into this. Hosting basically means where your N8N is working. Is it working on Google Chrome, which is technically the cloud of N8N itself? Or you can say cloud, or basically a storage space or a system which is with those guys in N8N headquarters, and we are hosting or we are using their space to host our N8N. That's it, and we are doing work there. So that's, so N8N also give you self-host options. Means you can create your own server. If you want to search, you can go ahead and search it later on. You can create your own server using a hostinger, KVMs and all, and then you can use Docker to create an image of N8N. Okay, so these are some two self-host options. Explore this later on. It's a fun thing to do, and it gives you much more flexibility, much more features as well. Now it's more affordable than proprietary alternatives, which is very true. I'll show you in the next slide. Then transparent development roadmap. Again, very true. The complete thing is very transparent. You can develop it, everything there. It's AI native, okay, which is basically means that it has built-in integrations with OpenAI, Gemini, Grok and all, Claude Sonnet and all, Anthropic, right? You can have those community nodes. So when somebody's coding, you have to attach the MCPs or basically the codes of OpenAI into your code, right, in order to connect both of those. But here it's already connected. That's why it's AI native. Then it's dedicated, it has dedicated AI agent nodes. Okay, I'll show you exactly what they are, how they work in the upcoming slides. Then context aware memory capabilities. Basically, it will be aware of the context which you're talking about. Means in the, let's say you have a chat, you are having a chat with that particular AI, the way that ChatGPT remembers what we texted like 4 or 5 texts back in the same chat, this also has the capability to do that. Now, and then you can connect a lot of AI models to any business tools, right? So this is a place where you can bring in different tools, like let's say Google Sheet, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, right? Facebook, Meta, everything. You can bring in all together. You can collect it, connect it, personalize it, and do everything there, right? So highly customizable. Now, next is why use N8N? Logic first flexibility. Now, this is brilliant. Okay, the way that these guys have defined logic. So if you even have a little bit of understanding of what computer science and CSE, and if you have read C++ in your 11, 12, you'll know what if else is, or you generally also know if else is. That if this is true, go that way, or go that way, right? So it's a true and false statement. This is what logic is. So now N8N has the capability or some nodes which are able to understand logic. Right, you can use the AI, you can use the node to compare a logic, to do a logic performance, and you can then redirect them to either this way or that way, right? So the way that, let's say somebody texted you, hey, I need help with this thing. And now you know that people would either text you for this or text you for that. There are only two things which you are good for. I'm just kidding. Okay. So basically, if they're texting the A thing, it would go into the A node. If they're texting the B thing, it would go to the B node, right? That's the logic there. And it's not just the A and B. This was the example of the if node. There is another node which is switch node. Okay, I'll dive into those in depth in the upcoming slides. Okay, so there's much more logic first flexibility. Then you have looping options, means you can again and again recursively do something. I'll tell you why they're important in the upcoming slides. Then you have time-based delays. That's pretty cool. I'll tell you why. Okay, when we'll dive deep into these nodes. Then data transformation with simple interface. Okay, means you can transform some of the data. Again, I'll tell you. Right, in the upcoming nodes, these are the basic things, right? I'll show you everything. Perfect. So now Zapier versus Make versus N8N. Zapier, why N8N is preferred? Once again, Zapier is very expensive. That I've tried, I've seen it gives very less flexibility. It has directly those one-on-one automations, and you can't automate more than two icons, or let's say two nodes in a single flow, or you have to pay. So that's that. Then not flexible, not the AI integrations is very basic AI support, and advanced logic, it's not there. Right. Then Make, of course, it's a bit mid-range priced. It has good flexibility. It has basic AI support. It has good logic options. Make is also a great alternative. Right. Yet N8N is much, much, much better because it gives you the free self-hosting options. And in the free one, you can do unlimited workflows, unlimited executions. Everything is totally free. Right. So that's the best thing. Right. And then highly customizable, totally AI native, insanely AI native. I'm not even kidding. Right. Insanely AI native. I'll show you how. And then it has if loops, delays, etc. A lot of things. So hence why N8N is there. Now, where does N8N fit in your stack? Where you can use this? Where does N8N fit in your stack? CRM integrations, right? CRM, you can integrate it with HubSpot, Zoho, Salesforce, whatever CRM you have. It already either will have predefined nodes, means in the right panel where all the functionalities are available, nodes. It will have predefined nodes, or you can do it manually if the predefined node is not present. I'll show you how, right, later on in the masterclass. So yes, then it has a lot of AI tools. It has OpenAI, Gemini. You can put in custom LLMs as well. Ad tools, of course, you can connect Meta Ads, Google Ads, analytics, tons and tons of Google stuff, right? LinkedIn ads. Then logic engines, N8N connects all your tools and adds automation logic, like if conditions, switch condition, workflows and all. Then social media platform, you can link in your LinkedIn, you can do Twitter, X, even TikTok, Telegram, you can connect anything. Now, N8N is a place where you can connect all of those things, and now you can perform multiple actions like, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, this, that, this, that. In this particular node, basically you've created one content, you post it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, everything, right? Why? Because N8N is a place which brings everything together. So that's where it fits into your stack. Now we are diving into the part 3. Let's start off diving a little bit deeper. Now it's anatomy of an N8N workflow. I have simplified it as much as possible. There are just 3 nodes, and you already know what nodes are. There are 3 major nodes which you need to know about when you're starting off with N8N. The first one is the trigger node. Trigger node is basically how the workflow starts. Every workflow will have one trigger node, basically a sign or an indication as to, okay, start now. Trigger is basically you have a gun and you have a trigger. When you fire that trigger, the bullet shoots out. Now I'm from Kanpur, I'll talk about guns. Okay, so yeah, that's trigger, right? You have triggered and some action would start. Then next is regular nodes. Now regular nodes is what I told you about. On the right panel, you have a lot of functions. It has LinkedIn, Google Sheets, Google Calendar, SERP, a lot of things, right? So those are your regular nodes. And then there are AI agent nodes. AI agents are the ones which are built around OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, Grok, all of these. So these AI agent nodes, these AI agents, they have the capability of using OpenAI, ChatGPT, everything. That's it. Now, of course, regular nodes have their own functionalities. AI ones have their AI functionalities. And trigger is the one which starts the workflow. That's it. These are the 3 things which you need to know. Simplified enough, right? Now that's what happens in the next step: actions, transformations. Then this is smart decision making, right? Let's deep dive into the AI node. Now, how an AI node looks, I want to show you as well. Okay, so I'd start off with a new workflow to just show you. This is the N8N dashboard, or basically how the N8N looks. Okay, and yeah, let it just load. This is how your screen would look like when you start your N8N and you click on create a workflow. Maybe, of course, if you're signing in, you'll be asked to sign in, you'll be asked to start something, right? Once you have done that, you can simply click on create a workflow, and this is the empty screen that you will come on to. Now, there's the plus sign. Okay, what this plus sign would do is basically open this right panel, which will tell you about all the nodes. Yahan pe there, all the nodes are saying search nodes, right? Why it's saying what triggers this workflow? Because, of course, what we talked about is the very first thing would be the trigger node. So for this example, we have different triggers, but we'll start off with a trigger manual. Okay, just so that we can attach different nodes. Now you'll see the plus icon disappear, trigger node is here. What we can do is we can click this plus or this plus. Either of the plus would do the same thing, right? We'll do this plus. Then now you can see there is an AI agent node. Okay, this is an AI agent. This is action in an app, which is your regular nodes. This is data transformation, flow, core, human in the loop, right? Exactly what they say. Flow was the one which I was talking about, if node and everything, right? Core, I'll dive into this. So I'll show you what an AI agent is, because that is first thing that we are talking about. Okay, so yeah, let's start off with an AI agent. This is what an AI agent looks like. Now this has the capability of logical reasoning in itself. This is the brain of your intelligent workflow. Okay, AI agent node is a central intelligence component in N8N that enables complex decision making and conversational abilities. Okay, I'll show you an example how. So this basically is the chat which is connected to it. Here you can click on the chat, right? Now every AI agent will have 3 branches coming out of it, 4 actually. First branch is what it says, it's the chat model. Okay, means our AI agent is there, but what is the brain that we want to keep behind AI agent? Right? Do we want to keep ChatGPT? Do we want to keep Gemini? Do we want to keep Grok? We want to do Sonnet? We want to do Claude 4.0? What do we want to do? Now the difference between these is every of these LLMs, they have their own capabilities. And in my personal experience, Claude is pretty great when you are doing coding stuff. Okay, and GPT is almost great for everything, right? But not prompting, and so right, you dive into prompting to Claude, right? Claude prompting is very amazing. Then Gemini, you can go for the video creations, the graphics things and all. In comparison to GPT and Gemini, I've seen GPT work much better. So we'll start off with that. Okay, we'll do a OpenAI connection here. Let's do ChatGPT. Let's do OpenAI. Right, we'll simply select the chat model and it's done. Okay, this is it. This is how the chat model looks like. Now our AI agent has a brain. Okay, so we'll simply open the chat. We'll type in hey, and we'll do. Acha, I'll show you exactly what happens if I type in a hey without the chat model. Okay, see, there's no reply. Error. A chat model subnode is not present. Now we'll connect the chat model. We'll again type in the hey, and now it will reply. Hi, how can I assist you today? Right. So what happened is it started off from here, went to the AI agent, went to OpenAI chat model, and it worked out like that way. Right. So it replied using that. It has the reply capability as well. Right. That's what the AI agent is. Okay. So then now it's the memory, which is the second part, which is memory. Now this is what remembers the context of the workflow or the chat which we are having. Context. You understand context, right? That if I type in, okay, give me my name is Priyank. Okay, it will reply to me that is there, hello Priyank, how can I assist you today? Now I'll ask it what is my name, right? Now let's see what it replies. I don't have access to the full information. Could you please tell me your name? It does not remember our name, right? But now we do a memory and we simply keep a simple memory, which is more than enough. And here you have a context window length, which is how many chats in the past it should remember. So we can keep it even 100,000, whatever. For this example, I'll even keep it like 100. Okay. Let's do that. Let's start off with that. Now I'll ask this. Okay. My name is Priyank. Again, it says, hello Priyank, how I can assist you today? And we'll do what is my name? What is my name? 6. Your name is Priyank. How can I help you further? See, this is what simple memory is. It remembers what the past chats are about. Very useful when we'll go in the longer complex workflows, and very useful specifically in creating chatbots. Okay, so yeah, then this was the memory node. Now the next thing is the tool. Now tools are the biggest game changer in an AI agent node. Every tool will define what is gonna be the capabilities of an AI agent. And I've done this on my Instagram reel, and it was very fun to do. Okay, that so recently Gukesh has defeated Magnus. Prag also defeated Magnus, right? On 17th July, right? Now I'll ask this. Okay, so I'll do. Do you know Prag versus 17th July? So I'll ask this, and let's see what it replies. See, it's saying, I'll expand this a little bit. It's saying, as of my knowledge, cutoff date on June 2024, I don't have information about events occurring in the July 25, including Prague versus Magnus, right? So if you want, I can help you with historical matches. Okay. So this is what it responded with. Now our AI agent does not have the capability of performing a web search. So what we'll do is now we'll give the AI agent the capability of doing a web search, which is adding the tool. Right. So we'll click on plus, the right panel, which is the nodes panel, again open up. This time, all the nodes which would be here would be attached here, and hence they would be the tools. Let's search perplexity here. That's it. We connect perplexity. I've connected. Now I've given the AI agent the perplexity tool. Now, AI agent is the brain. Okay. It has the capability of deciding which tool it wants to use in its entire arsenal. Okay. If you have given it a tool, it will think on its own. It will decide that whether it needs the help of the tool, because, once again, it's a web search. It's a live thing. Give me the details on it. Now let's try this out once again. You see, it automatically tapped into perplexity. I did not ask it to tap into perplexity and do that. Right. Now it went back to the OpenAI. You can see how it went. Right. OpenAI, then to perplexity, then again OpenAI to formulate the model. And here is the response. Chess match between Prague and on 17 July took place in this. ये उसकी सारी details, right? All the details are 39 moves. So this is the AI agent divided into chat model, memory, tools. Okay, perfect. So yes, I think let's move on with the next thing. This was more on the AI agent side. We deep dive into this. I hope that you enjoyed this, and then you can connect a lot and lots of tools from. I'll tell you the use cases. You can do even calendar, Google Calendar, do Gmail, do anything which are available there on the community nodes, and even things which are not available. I'll tell you how later on, but you can do that. You can give any tool you want to give to the AI agent, and then it can do stuff for you, right? You simply say that, hey there, send this person a mail, right? Create a mail and send this person a mail about AI automations, right? It will formulate the mail, it will send it automatically, and it will respond back that, okay, the mail is sent, right? So tools are the arsenal of the AI agent. Okay, these are the three major elements. That's all that you need to know. That's it. Next. Now, what is JSON? JSON, I'll again not deep dive into this because I also don't know what that is on the extent which a coder would know. Okay, but I know how it functions in the N8N. Okay, JSON is JavaScript object notations. Okay, which is basically how the N8N workflow is structured. So when we are dragging and dropping a visual node on the backend of N8N, what's happening is some code lines are being typed automatically. Okay, that's N8N. That is what N8N is doing, right? You drag and drop something, it simply added that code there. You connected it with another node like the AI agent. I connected it with the chat model. It on the backend, it used JSON, which is the JavaScript, which is the language, coding language. It used that JSON to simply connect that node. Okay, that is why we are doing it visually on the backend. It's happening via code. Hence why if you go to any N8N workflow, and even if you are seeing those reels which are being famous at comment link, and I'll send you the file and all, they send you a JSON file, right? What you simply need to do is you need to come back on your N8N. You need to click these three buttons. You come here, you click on import from URL or import from file. You click on import from file, and you simply upload whatever the JSON file is. Now these are some of the reels and all that I've created, a lot of AI automations here, right? So you can simply click on any JSON file and it would be instantly imported. That's what JSON is. N8N backend, in the backend, it's built on JSON. So yes, now a simple example of how JSON looks is basically this: name Priyank. What this means is basically there is a variable called as name in which holds the value called as Priyank. Role, now there is a value called as role which holds a value. There's a variable called as role which holds a value founder. Now if I'll ask, let's say I've given this piece of code to the AI agent, and I simply ask the AI agent or the N8N workflow that, hey man, who is Priyank and how many skills does he have? So then it would search this JSON file, And this is the way that that is what happened in everything which happened, a lot of things which happened in behind the scenes, and the perplexity thing as well. But you just take it like tens and thousands of times, this piece of code. Okay, so this was like just name, skills. You simply ask it will tell you that, okay, Priyank is a founder, he has skills of automation, marketing, and no code. That's it. So that is how simple JSON looks. Okay, that's how it's a very simple example. It's much complex, but that's a simple example. Understanding JSON is helpful. Okay, it's very helpful, but N8N handles most of the JSON formatting automatically through its visual interface. So you don't need to be an expert in JSON. And believe me when I say this, I've made very complex AI automations so far, very complex automations. I do not know how to code in JSON. And the moment that I feel that there is a need for a JSON node, right, or I need coding specifically, I simply take that entire workflow, paste it into ChatGPT, and I ask it to create a code for me. That's it. Right. That is how no code is working. What's wrong in being honest on that, right? That is how we are working. Correct. So how data flows between nodes? It flows through JSON, the way that I told, right? That in the behind the scenes, JSON is the thing which is happening. It's an input node, then processing happens, then output happens, right? All of this is what is happening in the coding in the behind the scenes. Data transformation, each node can read, modify, and pass JSON data to the next node in your workflow. Correct. So this is what JavaScript is, right? You don't have to be an expert at it. You just need to know that JSON is the file, .json is the way that PPT save on .pptx, right? Documents save on .docx, N8N saves its files as .json, JSON. That's it. Next, visual, how data flows in a workflow. What happens in a workflow? Now, we just did a AI agent thing. Now, from the AI agent, which is a single node workflow, we'll dive into what is a proper workflow. A workflow would contain a trigger. This is how the workflow starts. Then it would have node 1, node 2, n number of nodes. Basically, what are the functions which are happening? What are the, what happens step by step? Then if you need to put in an AI agent in the workflow, an AI agent comes in when you need to make a smart decision. And then of course is the output, whatever the final result you want to put forth. Now, how data flows? It flows through JSON data structure. You already know that. Branching logics is there. You can put in many if node logics, something like that, right? If, switch, a lot of things. Step-by-step processing, transformation. That's how the data flows. Okay. Now we'll dive into the section 4, top 10 nodes to master. Okay. Now we are diving a little bit deeper into N8N and core N8N. Okay. After these, the sections would be, which is a very exciting section, which I've kept post this, that complex workflows. What are the complex workflows which you as a marketer or a founder can introduce in your daily routines? So those are the use cases, right? So do definitely listen those as well. Now we'll deep dive into this, but yeah, definitely listen to those as well. So top 10 nodes to master. We'll deep dive into all of these. Okay, I'm just reading it out right now. Next are the slides where I'm explaining everything. Okay, webhook. You need to know these names. Why? Because this is what you're going to search on the plus icon in the right panel in which I just showed. First is the webhook. It receives external data. HTTP request. It connects APIs. Set. It manipulates the data. Okay, I had a joke, but I don't think I should make that joke right now. Then it's a if, which is add a conditional logic. Then OpenAI, which is generate AI content. Google Sheets, it stores the data. AI agent, which is a smart automations. Wait node, it delays the workflows. Loop, process multiple items. Code is the JavaScript. It's totally optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. These are top 10 nodes we need to master. Let's start off. Webhook. I have taken the toughest node in the very first instance, because this was the thing which was confusing even to me when I started off anytime. What is a webhook? I'll give you a real life example. Okay, it says that it receives data. That's what you're understanding, right? But it's not very clear. What is it, right? Let's say you're in your house. Somebody came to your door, and now they want to call you. What would they do? They'll either ring the bell or knock, or if there are like late long chaddi buddies, they would probably shout, "Hey bro, come down." So whatever this is happening, this is a trigger from someone else's end. But the moment that somebody rings the bell, what happens in our brain? We instantly start this processing that, oh bhai, somebody is on the door. I need to start, walk till there, open the door, let them in. So this is what webhook exactly is. That somebody else, somewhere else is taking an action, and in your brain, right, it's happening that, oh, I need to do this action instantly. That is what this brain, this instantly, do this thing. That is a webhook. Now coming in putting it into technical terms, let's say, and with an use case itself, let's say you receive a message on LinkedIn, but the moment that you receive that message, you want to trigger. You saw the trigger, right? You understand what trigger is, the way that you start the workflows. I put in a open chat trigger, which is a chatting trigger, and then a manual trigger. But in both the cases, I had to be there on N8N to start the workflow. Webhooks are the ones which start the workflow without you being there, and an action is taking place in some place else. So LinkedIn Pay, you received a message, and you have created a workflow which you want to trigger the moment somebody has texted me on LinkedIn. This is the role of webhook. Webhook would be a node where you will do some stuff, some connections. You'll take one URL, you'll paste this URL on the other thing just to link it up. And the moment some action happens there, the link activates, the webhook is triggered, webhook triggered, the workflow triggered. Got it? It's one of the most complex terms in N8N. It took me like days to understand what it is. I hope I have simplified it as much as as I could. So please let me know if you guys got it. Just this one on the like thing. Rest I'll take it on a good flow. But this one I really need you guys to know. This is very complex. This is how the webhook looks like. Okay, this is how the webhook. Start the workflow when a webhook is called. Okay, this is how the webhook looks like. Very complex. You don't need to think about this. But right now, this workflow is from a chat. Okay. Now I'll put it here. I'll remove this. I'll delete this. I'll drop the chat. I'll simply put it here. I'll put the webhook connected here. Now I can't chat with this, right? The chat node is deleted, but AI agent has still all the capabilities of answering the same questions which I just asked, like the Prague chess thing and all, right? It has the same capabilities still. So what happens is now, since it's being triggered by a webhook, the moment that somebody else, and this webhook can be connected on I'll show you a live example directly. This webhook can be connected on this like display note in flow, allow multiple HTTP nodes, something like methods and stuff like that. This, if you take this URL and you simply paste this URL into your website, you don't have to do this. Contact a website developer, he will do this. All you have to say is, "Bhai, connect my webhook in a chat, in a chat which is available on my website." You connect that webhook. The moment that somebody says hi in that chat, this webhook would be triggered. And the way that the chat here was working, this chat was working and I was typing in here, this exact same thing would start happening on your website. And that is how you build chatbots. Okay. So those are webhook triggered agents, right? So good use case, real world use case of this is you can capture leads instantly when someone fills a form on your website. Let's say you are doing lead generation and you have put in some lead magnet. The moment that they fill a form, you want to trigger a workflow which basically receive the submission, takes that submission, put it into your CRM, also sends you a mail that, hey there, you have received a new lead, right? So now the moment that a lead comes, the website does not have the functionality to give you an email, right? Or put that into the CRM. How would you take your lead data to the CRM? Or how would you take that lead data to, summarize it and send you an email? You would hire someone to do that. Okay, take the lead data, put it into a Google Sheet or put it into Zoho, right? Or you will of course send me a mail of what the person is, right? You research about the person, company, you send me a mail about that. That is where webhooks are used. You don't need a person. The moment that somebody has filled a form, it will simply trigger the webhook. Then you can create an entire workflow which simply sends you an email. Let's the same way that AI agent was able to do it. You send it an email, put that same data into CRM, you connect everything, the workflow is active. You don't need a human for that. You don't need an intern for that. Believe me when I say this, it's very true. People say that AI is taking up a lot of jobs because those jobs are not skilled enough, right? You need to stand out. You cannot do systemized processes and still expect you to have a job. And specifically for interns, right, it's going to be very tough because all the intern level working is, even right now, AI is able to do it, right? With N8N workflows only you can build that. So yeah, kind of very sad for all the people who are now going to pass out from colleges, right? I hope that we all are pretty safe, right? And we are learning AI, so we are definitely safe. Now next, let's dive into HTTP request node. Again, very complex. I'm trying to do the most hardest complex things in the start because abhi motivation hai, uske baad nahi rahega, right? So yes, so HTTP request node. Now I'll have to explain to you something which is very complex. Gonna be a little bit techy, but just be with me, so I'll be able to help you out with it. API. This term you will read a lot of times if you are working with automations. What is API? Application program interface. It is what the acronym says. Application, program, and interface. The way that applications talk to any program, or vice versa, the programs talk to any application. The interface of that. Interface basically means you're connecting two nodes. Now I'll start off with a real world example. Let's say you're sitting in a restaurant, right? You went to a restaurant. You need to order something. We went to Meghna Foods, okay, and now we want to order biryani, paneer biryani, right? How will we get the paneer biryani? We'll tell it to the waiter, right? Ki bhai waiter, we need a paneer biryani. Please bring that. The waiter will go to the kitchen. It will give the order. Then it will bring back the order. It will give paneer biryani to us, and we'll start enjoying it. Okay, now I'm really hungry. Okay, okay, I miss Meghna Foods right now. Cool. So this is what API is. Not the paneer biryani, the waiter. Waiter is basically acting as a mediator between me and the kitchen, restaurant's kitchen. It is taking information from me, giving it to the kitchen, taking the answer from the kitchen, coming back to me, right? So the waiter is the API. Okay. Now in technical terms, N8N is me and anything which we are requesting to connect to. For example, we can take LinkedIn. LinkedIn has, or Facebook or Meta. Meta will have its own API documentations. What is API documentation? You have to read all that in order to understand how you can connect the API or how you can connect N8N with Meta. You'll have to read the documentation. That is an API documentation. So now, assuming that you have read all that, and let's say not read all that, whatever, right? I'll explain what API is with this example. Now, N8N needs to connect with Meta, your Meta account. Okay, not like general Facebook, but your Meta account or your Meta ads account. How will it do it? It will do via an API. So APIs are basically some codes which are pre-written in order for us to connect to any function out there in the world in easier way, in a convenient way. And REST API is one of those kind of APIs. REST API, there are graph APIs, admin APIs. You don't need to know all that, right? You don't need to. And trust me, you don't need to know all that. You don't even need to know what REST API is. All you need to know is whenever you're trying to connect N8N with anything out there in the world, anything, any tool, any software, that software will have its own API documentation. And when you read that documentation, you will know how to connect these. Now, N8N made it even easier. Okay, it's sounding very complex and tough right now. N8N makes it even easier. How? With HTTP request. Okay, HTTP request is a node. It's a node, literally a node, which is already built here. Right, I'll show you. HTTP request. Right, this makes an HTTP returns a response. HTTP request. This is a proper node which helps us connect APIs comfortably, right, or in a convenient way. That's all that you need to know right now. Trust me on this. You don't need to know more. I'll show you whenever you need to know more. Right. All you need to know is there is a HTTP request node, a node called as HTTP request, which helps me connect to any tool out there on N8N. That's it. That's all that you need to know. Whatever I told you, got it, right? There is a tool which helps me connect to another tool. That's it. There's a node which helps me connect to another tool. You got it? Documentations, everything we'll dive into it later. Got it, right? Again, I'm very glad I was able to clear this because again, one of the most toughest ones out there. In a real world use case, let's say you want a TikTok trend monitoring, and TikTok has its own publicly available APIs that you can use. Now it's also publicly available, matlab, of course, anybody can connect. But if it's private API, then it's a very private tool, but you need exclusive access. You'll have to talk to that team. But generally these tools, TikTok and all the bigger tools which are already out there, they all have their own API. So they all have their own waiters. Okay, so you can simply talk to that waiter and make the things happen. Okay, these are all hotels and they have their own waiters. That's it. This node or our N8N can connect to TikTok and simply call their waiter and do stuff. Ask it to bring me the hashtags, bring me engagement metrics, bring me creator detail information, bring me everything. Right, and the waiter will bring you everything. That's it. That is what an API is. These were the two toughest things. Okay, agar wo aa gaya, now next you can almost understand everything. Okay. So yes, love all the celebrations that you guys are making, by the way. I don't know how to do that, but it's fun. Okay, so yeah. Set node. Right. Now this is another node. Okay. Set, which is basically transform and structure your data. Set node, I'll give you an example. You can rename fields to match destination requirements. You can rename fields. Let's say input is coming something else. Okay. But you want to output it with a different title. Okay, let's say you received an email where an AI agent would mark the email as a response or an output. जब भी AI agent responds, it always responds in output. Okay, the title of the output is output. Okay, the title of the answer is output. Understand that only. That if you want to get that answer, you'll have to talk to the output. Okay, I'll show you how it looks. I'll show you with our AI agent itself. Right, don't need to go anywhere. You double tap on this, you'll see this icon. See this icon? This panel, this right side, this is the input side, this is the output side. Okay, and this is how it looks. This is what I'm talking about. That the AI agent gives out the answer in a title or a block or a holder. This is what holds the entire information in the output node. Okay, and now what we need to do is AI agent got us some emails. What we need to do is we are updating those emails on a Google Sheet, right? But for updating that or mentioning it into any CRM or any such thing, we need the email to have the title as email, right? But it has a date of output right now. How would we rename that? We'll use the set node. Okay, so you simply type in set. You can simply go to here. I'll show you very quickly how to do that, right? Because this is the smallest example of another dynamic mapping or so, right? I'll tell you what that is. So now when you click plus there, now the AI agent thing becomes the output of the previous node becomes the input of the next node. Understandable, very basic thing. This is the set node. Okay, this is a set. You can see edit field set. What you simply do here is now you want to change the output name to answer. Okay, so now you want to create another title which is answer, and value is basically what you want to put inside it. Let's say email, right? For example, abhi assume that yahan pe there is an email here. So what I want to do is email. Now I want to create an output which is called as email, and I simply take this, I hold this, drag and drop it here, and that's it. This is what you will see is possible via N8N. You can simply take this, drag and drop it here, and the result would look like this. Now this thing is called a dynamic variable. Okay, that, and this is possible everywhere, anywhere in N8N. It is not just for the set nodes. It is used everywhere and anywhere. Whenever you want something from the previous node, you bring that in using dynamic variables, and you don't have to type dynamic variables. You simply drag it and drop it here, and it automatically types it. That's it. So now let's try it out. Okay, again the same thing. Let's execute the step. That's it, and it has responded. Now it has came to the set node, and what this time I'll do is I'll simply go here. I'll take this output. I'll put this here. That's it, right? And now I'll show you this. My email is priyank.singh2208@gmail.com. Let's put that in. It went to the chat, went to the AI agent, chat model. It's here, right? Now you see, simply I've taken this JSON output. I've taken this. This says email. Thanks for sharing your email, Priyank. How can I assist you with it? Just a quick reminder to be cautious about sharing personal information online, everything like that. So I simply took the output agent and I put this into email, right? Okay, so this is called as a set node. You can rename fields, and that's probably the maximum of what set node is used for, right? You can transform data. You can do it in numeric integers or something like that. You can simply adjust your entire data structure using this set node. It's very crucial, very small functionality, but very crucial, very helps a lot. Okay, cool. Then it goes into data cleanup, right? So you can use this in data cleanup for Google Sheets. You can rename or filter incoming data before sending to the Google Sheets. For example, transform complex JSON responses from an API into clean rows that matches your spreadsheets and headers and all. Okay, so yeah, explore this. It's a fun node. I've showed you the maximum example that I could, right? It was a fun node, and my intent to put this on the third one was because I wanted to explain you what dynamic variables are, right? So that it can take information from the previous and send it to the next one. Cool. Now the three of the most complex things are done. Let's dive into if node. Very easy. It's a conditional logic, true or false. Okay, so if, let's say I've put in 5 plus 5, 10. If output is equals to 10, or let's say if output is greater than 10, you go to the true node, you go to the true direction. And if output is lesser than 10, you go to the false direction. That's it. That is what an if node is. Next, what an OpenAI node is, right? If you have ChatGPT opened up in your backend or your laptop or so, you can simply type in the if and something like that. You can see the true and false there. So OpenAI node. OpenAI, it's AI powered content generation, which is, once again, we all know what OpenAI and ChatGPT is. Now OpenAI has its own node, which helps us do a lot of things. I'd show you this one. Why? Because it's a little different from the AI agent that I'm talking about. AI agent is on its own, and this is OpenAI. OpenAI has its own actions. Every node has its own actions and has its own triggers. This one does not have triggers generally, but it has actions. And using this node, we can perform a couple of things. We can create assistants. Okay. We can do message models. Okay. We can analyze image, generate an audio, transcribe a recording, translate a recording, delete a file, everything like this. Using this, actually, I've created a workflow which is a proper WhatsApp AI agent, which even takes in images and then analyzes the images, then responds accordingly. It was for an e-commerce brand, and I built it for a brand which is having like 1300 SKUs, and people need recommendations. So that AI, that WhatsApp is a chatbot which is a recommendation model, right? So pretty dope, very complex, very fun. This is what we use there, analyzing images. So yeah, OpenAI, pretty cool node. Explore it, you'll love it. Next, LinkedIn post generator, of course, instantly generate engaging LinkedIn posts, ideas from input keywords. So of course, you message a model is the action which we'll be using here. So you can customize it, you can build it. Almost message a model has the same, you can say, functionality as the AI agent if you have connected it to the chat model. That's the same thing. So yes. Next, which is Google Sheets node. I'm keeping Google Sheets. You can keep any database, Airtable, HubSpot, whatever you want, wherever your tables, Notion, right? Whatever tables are, you can connect those nodes and you can perform some actions. You saw some actions listed, right? Those are the actions which are native to N8N, right? You can perform those actions. Create new spreadsheets, access existing one, read, append, update, delete spreadsheets and all. How you can use this is by, competitor content tracker, right? You have taken a lot of information from your workflow. Now you want to organize it into Google Sheets. You can simply do that by dragging and dropping the dynamic variable the way that I did just now. Google Sheets node has, now whatever you will create, like let's say a sheet, you'll create like a title. It will have all those titles. The Google Sheet node will simply extract all the titles. And now you can simply drag and drop. It'll work. Try it out. Okay, try it out. Don't trust my word for it. Okay, try it out. You'll love it. Yes, and if you feel complex, just one, watch any YouTube video, two, go to ChatGPT, three, if you're still not able to figure it out, just let me know. I'll help. AI agent. AI agent you already saw. I'm not going into this once again. Wait node. I'll explain you why this is very important. Okay, you'll think, okay, why do we need to stop our workflows? Okay, sometimes it's for follow-up emails. Right, email marketers can use this. Okay, you want to send some follow-up emails every 24 hours. You want to wait once the workflow is triggered for 24 hours and then send it. That is where you can use it. But the best use case of wait node in N8N, which I have personally done, is controlling the API rate limits. API rate limits. Matlab, we can't ask the waiter to, hey, bhai, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that, do. The waiter will start beating the S out of you, right? So that is what wait node is used for. That before asking for another thing from the waiter, you put in like a wait node of 1 minute, 2 minutes or something, so that the waiter does not feel overloaded in his head, right? That is what API rate limit is. That how many times can you call the API within 1 second? Because this is an AI agent. It will do 1000 API calls within a second. So that is what the wait node is for. That you wait before you make the next API call, right? So yeah. So that's what it is. You can do follow-up emails. What I have experienced was the API one. Loop node, you want to loop, you want to reiterate everything. You want to do, you got multiple items, but now the next set of workflow which you want to put forth, you want to put that forth into looping statements. Okay. So for example, you want to do it one by one, right? That you have 15 items, but you want to process it one by one. Why it is important? One, for the API limits. Two, for our AI agent to function comfortably without hallucination. Now, this is a very fun key term used here in the AI world. Hallucination is exactly what the meaning of that word is. Sometimes our AI agent also hallucinates and it gives random responses. Why it hallucinates? Because it has gotten a lot of information in a single instant. To stop the AI agent from hallucinating, we use loop nodes. That, okay, even though we have 100 items, I will help you. You do it one by one. Okay, you want to append this or you want to update this in a sheet, you do it one row Second row, third row, that's looping. So this is resume processing. So sometimes when you have when you're hiring for someone, right, and you have a lot of resumes coming in, now you need people to go through each resume, right? But the AI can't go through. What's the difference between wait node and loop node then? So loop is what divides it into batches. देखो wait node में, if you have just placed a wait node and you have put in 15 items, the moment the wait node ends, all the 15 items would go through. Okay. But loop may, it will go one by one. That's it. So if you have put in 15 items, it will go one time. It will process the node which is inside this, or let's say the AI agent inside this one time, and then it would send back and bring the other item, right? So that is why the AI agent, which is the node which is here, right? That is the important part. This AI agent needs not to hallucinate. Okay, so that's why you keep it. Wait passes on the entire items, loop does that. That was loop. Then a code node or a custom JS node, you really don't need to know this, but I'm still sharing. There is a node called as code, okay, where if you feel like you are in a need of a code specific thing, right, this is how the code node looks. How I use it personally is I simply drag this entire thing, control C this, go to chat GPT, paste the entire thing, and then I prompt. So code node, you don't really need to know coding for this. You simply drag this entire thing. It will select all these three. You control C this, go to ChatGPT, control V, paste it there, and then you prompt ChatGPT to explain. You explain the ChatGPT that this is my workflow and I need a code for this. Right. So for example, one of the recent codes which I used was I scraped a lot of posts from a LinkedIn competitor account, and I've built a LinkedIn auto commenting agent, okay, which basically goes from my account and then comments on all the posts which are about AI automations and on my targeted accounts and competitor posts, right? Auto commenting. I don't even open my LinkedIn now, but it's still growing, right? So in that, I used code nodes to just filter out all the posts which have been made in the last 24 hours only, right? That functionality was not available, so I had to code it. But of course, I didn't code it. I simply took that, prompted that ChatGPT, it gave me a code, I pasted the code, it started working. That's it. You don't need to know what JSON is or JS is, JavaScript is, right? That's how you use the code node. This is the code node. That's it. Now let's start with section 5. Right. This is working with APIs in N8N. Now, actually, this is where I had to explain what API is, but I did it before. Otherwise, it would be very confusing, right? But now you know what API is. Okay, now you know what API is. It's the waiter. Okay. So API lets tool talk to each other. Again, universal language of the software, the waiter thing. Example, asking Google Flights to return today's cheapest flight from New York to London. So Google Flight is a tool. Where are we asking Google Flights? We are asking it on N8N. How are we asking? We are using Google Flights APIs. That's it. LinkedIn scraping. You can collect posts, profiles, company data automatically, TikTok retrieval, Instagram retrieval, everything you can do that by their own APIs. Okay. Chalo. Using the HTTP request node. Now let's dive into the HTTP request and how do we use that? Or this is gonna be like really fun, tricky, but very complex, gonna be a little bit techy. Okay, so guys, bear with me. Okay, let's start. But if you know this, you'll probably be ahead of tons and tons of people who do APIs and stuff. Okay, so yes, API URL. हाँ तो अभी HTTP request में there are methods. Okay, I'll tell you all these titles and all. Okay, what these are. Method. It's a get. There are different kinds of method. You don't need to know what all of these are. What do they mean? You don't need to know. Trust me on that. All you need to know is if you go to any API documentation. I'll start off with Apify and let me actually present the next slide. Yes, next slide, and then I'll come back to this HTTP request. I can do it either way, right? So yeah, method. You have a lot of methods. I'll tell you what they are. You don't need to know what they are. I'll tell you where to use them. But that's it. URL is where basically you can paste a URL. What URL you are pasting, I'll tell you later. Just after this. Authentication is what it says, means in order to authenticate or make sure that, for example, you are going to a restaurant. Okay. Now you need to make sure that you are the right person. You have the monetary potential. Like, for example, you look like a beggar, right? And you go into a 5-star restaurant. Would they even allow you to enter? No. Your dress code is like an authentication there. Correct. So just a hypothetical example. Okay. I'm not demeaning any 5-star hotels also. But yeah. So let's say there is a dress code party. You are not wearing that dress code. you would not be authenticated. So authentication is that credentials or kind of the passwords or whatever you want to put in, right? Those are some predefined credentials or some generic credentials like OAuth and stuff like that. You don't need to know what all this is, but authentication is what allows HTTP request or N8N to access the other tool. That's what authentication is. A little bit technical, you don't need to deep dive. All you need to know is there exists a column like this. Then there are query parameters, headers and body. Query parameters are questions. That's all that you need to know. Headers are headings and body is where you type the main message. That's it. Even if you don't get it, you really need not to get it. I'll tell you a trick on how you can do all of this without even knowing what all this is, right? And basically these are all the options. Now I'll dive into Apify and what other API things are. So I was just talking about API documentation. Okay, these are all the things which are present in the API documentation, that you need to keep your endpoint or your URL as this. You need to keep your header as this. You need to keep your body as this, and you need to keep your response as this. Then only you are authenticated to call my API. This is what the tool is saying. This is what the API documentation says. Let's take an example. If I'll show you the use case, then maybe you'll understand. And if you don't understand, let's take it on the Q&A, right? Trust me, it's very comfortable, right? Use case would do. Perfect. So now what is a use case? Now I'll tell you what Apify is. Okay. Apify is this website which has a lot of APIs which are built by people. So it's an API marketplace. Okay. API waiter marketplace. समझ गए? यहाँ पे you will get waiters of a lot of restaurants. You will get a lot of APIs of a lot of tools. Okay, and you can hire any waiter, which is basically mean that you're hiring a restaurant to work for you, right? So you can take any API, or what they are called here is they are called actors. Okay, जो मैं waiter बोल रहा हूँ, whatever I'm saying as a waiter, they are called as actors. Okay, this is Apify actor. अब देखो भाई, we are into N8N, we are into a little bit of tech, AI automation coding. थोड़े बहुत मतलब you'll have to know a little bit of technical terms. I can't help ease down everything, right? You'll have to remember the technical terms. Cool. So actors, these are all actors. Okay. Abhi, what are these actors? Is basically these are the ones which would connect us to the API. These are the ones which would give us the API access. Now this is what? This is a TikTok scraper. It does what it says. It's a Google Maps scraper. Does what it says. Amazon scraper. Build your own actor. Website content crawler. Instagram scraper. Right. There are 6,000 plus actors like this. I'll simply type LinkedIn here. Come to apify.com. Search LinkedIn. That's it. And you will get a lot of actors which are from LinkedIn or for LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn does not provide its own APIs. LinkedIn does not have a public API. Scraping for B2B leads and enrichment. That's a good use case, but still very complex. So we'll dive into something which a little bit easier in order to start first. Okay, so this is what LinkedIn scraper looks like, or the LinkedIn actors look like. LinkedIn job scraper, post scraper, mass profile scraper with emails. So profile posts, no cookies. Also try to find the ones with this no cookies thing. These are much better because they don't use your your session cookies or something like that. Your LinkedIn would be much safe. Okay, but generally almost all are no cookies only, so you can do that. Okay, so yes, now let's go to one of the actors and let's see which one would look good. Let's start off with this. For example, LinkedIn post, profile post scraper. So abhi yahan pe profile post scraper, let's see what it offers. Okay, what is 4.1 rated? That's a good thing. $5 for 1,000 results. So if you scrape 1,000 posts, it will charge you $5. Okay, then 263, 4.8k users so far, 2,000 monthly users, run succeeded rate. Yeah, you need to read all this. Just see that, okay, this is good, means this works, right? Issue response time, 0.97 hours, is fine, right? This, perfect. So this is what the API documentation is, or basically about the actor. Okay, you don't need to read all that. I'll tell you a simple trick of how you can do that and how you can take. Now, now you understand that LinkedIn is a restaurant. This is the waiter. This actor is a waiter, and we need to use that waiter in our N8N. How will we do that? We'll do that via HTTP request. Okay, this is clear. Now simply click on try for free. Okay, You will click on try for free. You will come here. And again, if I run into an error, if I am not able to do this, what I will simply do is I will take a screenshot, scan that entire thing, put it into ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT as to how I can do that. Because even I can make mistakes. This is the actor screen. This is your console. Okay, this is your dashboard. That's all. This is how the actor's internals look like. Okay. Scrape LinkedIn post for a given LinkedIn profile, including post content, reaction, something like that, stuff like that. Okay. Now this is everything which looks like. Wherever you go to some place like this, or we are talking about Apify only, you find an API button here. You click that drop down. You click on API endpoints. API endpoints. You'll open this up. This is where the API documentation stuff starts. Okay. Don't read anything. Just scroll down and find this. Run actors synchronously. Get dataset items. That's all. Find this. Click on this. View API reference. That's it. This API reference is the API documentation that we are talking about. You see, Apify documentation. Okay. One, you need to do this. That's all. Cool. Now you're here. So you can see run actor synchronously with input and get dataset items. Okay. This is what we are using. Okay. Just remember that's every time you'll use this only. Okay. Abhi, now let's go back to our HTTP request and start doing one by one thing. Right. Method. What is it saying? Get, head, post, patch, put. Every time you'll come to this, you will see a URL like this, in which you will find that here is what the method is written like. What is this? Post. So what we can simply do here is we'll simply go and select post. That's it. Now here is a URL here. We'll take this URL, Control C, we'll paste it. You'll come here, we'll paste the URL here. Now it says actor ID. Where will we find the actor ID? We'll go back to the actor, and यहाँ पे you'll find actors, और उसके बाद here it is this backslash till this backslash. This is the actor ID. You come to actor ID, you come here, you paste it here. That's it. That is your URL. Okay. Now what's next? It's authentication, send query parameter, send header body, send this. I really don't know what that is. I never do that. This is what I'm talking about. Import curl. This is the best trick that I've discovered. You simply come here, you click on this curl code. Okay. You find this curl. You simply take this, you copy this. There's a copy button here. You copy this. Okay. You simply copy the curl code from here. You come here, you click on import curl, you paste that curl code here, and that's it. The actor ID is here. So, I mean, you can do it either way. You simply click on import. Okay. And the moment you do that, it would be imported here. That's it. Everything is done on its own. You don't have to do anything else. That's it. Abhi, or I'll tell you what, all you need to do is replace this actor ID. You copy this, you come back, you click on the actor ID thing, and that's it. One thing that you need to update, that's all. Now you come back down here. Now I'll show you what this body thing means. Simply go to specify body. Okay, send body, it's already clicked this and something. Body is where you're requesting some information. So now what I simply need to do is I need to copy this. Okay, I need to copy this. This is your username or URL. I need to paste it here. Now Apify provides this body wala thing. You need to paste it here. Okay, you can do username, you can do URL, you can do anything. Okay, username would also do, URL would also do. Then page number I'll put 1. Pagination token you don't need to know. Result limit is what I'll put is at 10. Okay, and that's it. Now what I'll do is I'll simply go to this. I've put this information in manual. I'll go to JSON. This same manual thing, it will convert into JSON for me. Okay, this is how the JSON would look. I'll take this, copy this, come back, use JSON here. Okay, specify body and simply paste it here. That's it. Okay, now let me show you a magic. These are your posts. Breaking ChatGPT just went autonomous. It might be the future. This is 1 week ago, right? These are your posts. So in the authentication, authorization, what I need to paste is my Apify token or my API key. Okay, that is very crucial. Go to your personal here. Okay, go to settings. Paid the invoice. I came back. I took my API key. Right. I came here. Simply pasted this API key here, bearer Apify token, and I clicked on execute step. Right. The moment I clicked on execute step, it started running for I respect education, just I think Sankalp's LinkedIn, right? And it will fetch out 10 items. Now these are the 10 items which it fetched out. This is the first item with the dynamic variables. Now it has schema. Okay. Here you will see in the table section, you will see all the posts, right? All the text. So this is his first post, breaking ChatGPT. Then this is the next post,
sometimes the most profound leadership. Then there's another one, SEO is changing faster. Then there's another one, looking forward to do this, do that, right? See, this is how you use Apify's actors. LinkedIn does not provide us profile scraping. It provides us just posting APIs, okay, that you can make a post. But here, using this, we were able to scrape those posts out there as well. And this, we can do this thing on a mass number as well. For example, if we want to scrape out 10s and 20s, 20 accounts in a single go, we can totally do that. All we need is our Apify account, our Apify actor, right? Our own actor, this exact same method that you copy the curl code, you come back here, you paste the curl code on the HTTP, you come back, you update the actor ID, you update the API key, and you update the body. Body, from where you update the body, you update it from here. Right, you simply type it here in manual, you click on JSON, you copy this, you come back here, you click on using JSON and paste it. Right, it's a whole process, but this is one-time process. It's a one-time setup. Now you have done this. Now you can simply, okay, now somebody else, your LinkedIn URL or your username. So we'll take this. What I'll simply do is I'll come here, I'll simply update it here. Okay, I'll update it here, and now I'll do a execute step. That's it. Now it would do the same thing, but for this account, right? It would run this time, I'm pretty sure, right? I've done a lot of things that would run. Okay, so yeah, so this time it's text, perfect. So yes, so see, we got all the posts without even visiting his LinkedIn ID. Okay, now this is what API requests and Apify means, right? That this is a power mode. Basically, this is like a power tool, a very powerful tool that you can use in your N8N workflow. These actors from Apify, you can simply connect them and you can make them do stuff. Okay, so now you understand what. So basically, everyone who was having a problem with what this HTTP request was, you can simply use N8N plus Apify in order to automate a lot of things. You can scrape it from LinkedIn, you can do job board post scraping, you can do e-commerce sites, social media platforms, B2B, email scraping, TikTok scraping, Instagram scraping. Right, this is a bot store. It has all the actors. It is no code. It's a no code solution platform. And how you use Apify is you simply take the Apify's documentation, the exact process which I just showed you. You go to the HTTP request node and you connect everything, and you will get all these items back. Without even visiting the profile of Naresh, I got the 10 items back. And now I can do anything with these 10 items. For example, let's say I want to put it into an AI agent. Now, this is a fun thing that I'm doing for just the sake of it. I'm just going to put it in an OpenAI's messenger model or a simple basic LLM chain. Actually, that would do. Right, a basic LLM chain would do. Perfect. So, using the define below user prompt. Perfect. So, I will take these texts here, right? These are all the texts. These are all the everything, right? These are his what? These are his posts, and I will simply type यहाँ पे user message में uh, rewrite. Right. This simple chain, the simple LLM chain is basically another way of saying AI agent. That's all. Trust me, that's literally all. Right. But the only thing is it does not have the tools functionality. It only has the chat model functionality. Okay. AI agent has the tool functionality as well. What if I want to scrape to find relevant accounts to my interest and their post like without inputting? Let's take this into the Q&A session, right? Would be fun there. Then we can simply what do is we refresh this. Now we come here, we press on execute step, we write these posts for me, right? We press execute step and we'll instantly get an output. It is running by the way here, right? You can see that 5 items have been rewritten, then 6 items are done, okay? And now 7 items are done, 8 items are done, 9 are done, 10 are done. This is still a very complex one, but it did really quickly, right? And you got all those 10 items. Now you can compare. All the posts are here are differently written or rewritten here. Correct. Certainly, here are a few rewritten versions. Version 1, professional appreciative. This is last weekend I had a pleasure of attending an insightful B2B local area network. So now just imagine the kind of possibilities which come across uh, with this. You can take your competitor's post, you can put it into an LLM chain or an AI agent or your workflow. You can take the top performing posts and simply put it here. You rewrite it and you can post it on your own link. And of course, it would perform well, right? So that's how That's so great. This thing is Apify scrapers, APIs, scraping posts and all. That is how it works. This entire thing was how to use Apify, APIs and HTTP request node, right? Let me see if there's anything else. How to use Apify, I've already told. You go to the Apify actor, you copy the curl code, you go to HTTPS, paste the curl code, you put in the JSON data, which is the body thing that I did, and you click on the execute step and you'll get an output. That's all. Sorted? So this is the superpower of Apify. Use it. It's fun. It's insane. Like I've given you a master tool and a master approach to use that. Perfect. So that was Apify. That was the section 5. That was APIs. And now the ones who are having a little bit problem with understanding what the HTTP request node is, how you can use it. You don't need to understand the technicals, but now you know the process. Simply go there, curl code copy, curl code paste, body copy, body paste, actor ID copy paste, and Apify, मतलब API key copy paste. That's all. You can do web scraping. You can do, these are very easy API integrations, right? Copying the curl code helps. Then it's structured data, right? In JSON, everything is happening there. Automation ecosystem. You can build a lot of things around this, right? Using Apify actors and all. And that is what we are diving into the next. Okay, which is part 6 of this, section 6, which is we are diving into the live demo. Now, of course, I've been doing the live demo with you guys, right? So this would look very easy for you, but let's build a LinkedIn competitor research tool using Apify. How the workflow would look like. What are the nodes that you would connect, and how would we approach it? The intent is to basically pull out the latest posts from the competitors, right? And filter it by the top performing posts, the top number of reactions, right? That's it. And the moment we filter it, we put it out into a Google Sheet. We are creating this live. That's it. Erase everything. I didn't want to erase this HTTP request actually. फिर से पूरा setup करना पड़ेगा, but can I erase this? Let's erase everything. Keep it here. यहाँ पे आते हैं. एक trigger लगाते हैं click का. Execute workflow. Don't execute workflow. Stop executing it. Perfect. एक trigger लगाते हैं यहाँ पे trigger manually. We put this here. We start off our trigger with this. Okay. We start off our trigger. We start off our workflow with this. Now start thinking. Okay. N8N is all about you thinking and then connecting the nodes. Okay. What is the intent here? We need to find our top competitors. Okay. Take those competitors in the workflow. Bring those competitors' name in the workflow. Then put it into our HTTP request, right, which scrapes out the posts. Then export that to a Google Sheet, right? Of course, there is a filter node that which one has the most top performing people, right, or top performing reactions, right, top reactions, most reactions or a certain reactions above a threshold. That is only the one which we are going forth with, right? And I'll only do one demo, okay, because it would be a little bit late then, right? But yeah, let's start. The very first thing is we need to create a Google Sheet. Okay, let's dive into Google Sheets. We are using Google Sheets as our base. Okay, Unnati Bagga, Elena Verma. Okay, wait, let me search Unnati Bagga, Shravan Tikko. Okay, we'll take these three only then. Nice. We'll have to search everyone. Shravan Tikko. Perfect. So we'll do Shravan. Copy link address. We'll take this. Right. We'll come here. Now we are creating a sheet, right? The sheet's title. The sheet's title need to be name. Okay. Do name. And then we'll do URL. This is from where this is our competitor list. Okay. I always love to do this for some reason. Okay, perfect. So yes, now let's start off pasting their name. You said Shravan Tikko and we'll take the URL. Perfect. So see, we are building an entire workflow. It's gonna take a little while. I'd love if you guys would stick around on this, and because you'll know one workflow will do just one live demo, okay, and then we'll skip to some real world use cases that you can apply in your businesses, and in that you can ask your questions as well. That okay, I have this business. Do you have a real world use case of that? That would be the part of the Q&A. This live demo is almost the last thing which is gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, we'll take Elena Verma. Varna. Okay. Elena Varna. Elena Varna. Perfect. And then the third one we'll do Unnati Bagga. Perfect. Copy link address. We'll come back here. We'll do this. We'll type in name. I'm just typing for the sake of it. You don't need the name really, right? But I'm still typing it for the sake of it so that you can see that okay, what kind of outputs we can get, right? This is sheet one. I'll name it as competitor names. Competitor names. Okay, that's it. Now I'll create another sheet. Okay, where I'll do competitors or not even that. Right, I'll just do top performing posts. That's it. Right. I'll come here. Now, what do I need from this time? Also, I've already created one. So I'll simply copy paste it. Right. I'll show you exactly what are the titles which we can get. Maybe we'll try to fetch all of them out. But yeah, if not, probably get most of it. Post comment updates, auto comments, competitor research, competitor top research. Right. So I'll just simply copy paste it. So see, the same thing. This is what I'm trying to create there as well. Right. I'll take this. I'll take this. Copy this. Come back. Paste it here. These are all the things which I'm going to take out. Now you can take out more. You can take out more and more things which whatever are available from that profile scraping. For example, let's go back to our workflow. Let's see this. What you can put in here as title is already available here. Okay, just check that. So you can put in the URN number. URN is kind of the code of the post. Okay, posted at you can create a column of date, time, everything, and that is what you can fetch out from here. You can put up a timestamp. This is by the way in milliseconds. Okay, so you put this into ChatGPT, you will get this exact date. Okay, and this is what N8N uses in order to do these things. Okay, then text. This is the content of the post. This is the URL of the post. I think we are already taking that. We are taking the LinkedIn URL of the post. We are taking the creator name. We are taking copy, which is of course the content of the post. Okay, I can type this as content if you want. If you think that I'm going to repeat that, we can change that anytime. Reactions, comments, number of reactions, number of comments, reposts, and date and time. All of this we are going to get. What more can we get? We can get about the author. Okay, so let me add this for you guys. I'll add one more column, which would be different from my original sheet. Okay, author name, and then what I'll add is author's headline, so that we also get an idea of what the person is talking about. Okay, or basically what's his URL headline or main profile line. That's it. You want username, we can do that, but at the end of the day, we already have that. So yes, so I think that would be all. Okay, let's start off with creating our workflow now. I'll name the sheet as demo live demo one. Okay, live demo one. Different sheet from that one. Okay, cool. Chalo. The base of our competitor database is already set. But yes, this is how you can create a list of competitor. You can do like 15, 20, 30, n number of people. Okay, whatever you want to do. And here you will paste everything. Okay. What are we doing? The first thing that we are doing is we are fetching all the competitors' name from the LinkedIn sheet. Oh, sorry, from the Google Sheet. So what do we need here? We need a Google Sheet node. Okay, Google Sheet has its own node here. Google Sheets, right? We click this, and what are we doing from Google Sheet? We are extracting data or getting the data. Okay, so we'll find out one of the actions, which is get rows in sheet. These are all the actions. You click on get rows in sheet. Okay, and you connect. How to connect this account? You simply click on this icon or this. You click on connect this account, and you simply sign in with your Google. That's it. That's very simple to connect. Okay, don't have to think. Then you will get this screen. Now documents. You click on documents. It would load your most recent one, which is your live demo, and the sheet. Which of these sheet we want to get the names from? Competitor names. We select that sheet. The moment that you do that, this opens up. This is a filter, combine filter option. You don't really need to fill anything, because what you're trying to extract is you are trying to extract everything from here. Right? Okay, not this one. You're trying to extract everything from here. Okay. So let's do that. Let's now, if I just run this, okay, if I just run this step, you will see I executed this step, and we got 3 items here. Okay, this is the 3 items. This is row number 2, name and URL. This is the schema view, and then there is a table view, and table view you will find everything. right? This is the total data, and this is how individual data items look. Okay, that is the difference between schema and table. Okay, from schema you can get the dynamic variables, and table is all the data. So see, you got all the name, rows, and everything from there without doing anything. You got it? Let's pin this data. Okay, let's pin this so that we don't have to do this again and again, or the flow does not do this again and again. We have pinned these three items. Now, what's the next step? We need to put this into our HTTP request node, all these names into our HTTP request node, right? We need to put all these names to our HTTP and get their posts, the most recent posts, top performing posts, or something like that, right? How we'll do that is, let's bring in this HTTP request node. Let me delete all this. This is the same Apify actor that I just created, which posts scrapes out posts. I brought it here. I connected my this to this Google Sheets node to this one. Now you will see that when you double tap on this and you'll open this, it will have this input, all this input windows here. Okay, all of this is set up. We have already set it up, right? What do we need to do? The only thing that we need to change every time, and it should change dynamically, is the URL of this, right? It takes URLs, right? Let me just check if it takes URLs. Yeah, it takes URLs. But let me test it out as well, because when you are doing URL, then it would change something. Okay, because if I do URL and if I go back to the JSON, you will see that, okay, username is still the same as URL. Works, but yeah, works in our favor. Right, sometimes if you change this, what happens is this thing also changes. This becomes URL or something. So just check it. How do we bring the dynamic variable? This is a fixed code. You can see fixed. What you do is you click on expressions in order to change it to a setting where you can bring in the dynamic code. You press that small pop-up kind of button. It will come to the bigger screen just for the interface thing. You take this URL, you drag it, you bring it here, and you drop it exactly here. That's it. Now you can see that for one iteration, the item 1 or item 0, it would put in the data as this. But for the next item, it would put in the data as this, Elina Verma. This is what the beauty of dynamic variable is. Now I did not have to manually put in the every individual person to fetch out their top performing post. That's automating stuff. Right. This is the input, body that I'm giving it to. Now let's limit it to just 5 posts so that we are not calling a lot of APIs, because it will fulfill our use case even then. Right. 5 seconds. Okay. Now let's do execute step. Okay. And we'll see that we'll get 5 posts from each of these accounts. Okay. And great. We got 15 items. Amazing. Right. You can see 15 items. We got all of them. We got author. Right. Then we'll dive in. These are from Elena. Then these are from Anton Osika. You will see that sometime if the author name is different, means they have reposted someone else's post. Then the author name is always different. Right. Otherwise, you will get their posts only. They are manually made posts or the posts that they have written. Right. This is Unnati. Right. You got all this. And then here we have received their total reactions, likes, supports, love, everything. Right. We have received 5 posts that they've made. Let's go to the schema view, which is much more convenient, and let's pin this data, because we don't want to recall the API again and again. Cool. Let's save this. Keep saving your data, your workflows always. Okay. Now, guys, we got the competitor names. We put that into the HTTP request. We got 15 items, 15 posts out of it. What is the next thing that we need to do? We need to find the top performing posts, right? We need to filter out the top performing posts. That, okay, out of these 15 items, I only need posts which have reactions more than this. Any guesses which node we'll use? I've not told you about that node yet, but you want to make a guess? Get think from this perspective. If you start using if node, what does if node do? It does not allow us to do the same performance or the same thing which is happening. We can do it through if node as well, right? But we'll have to pass and reuse that node a lot of times in order to do that. And in larger workflows, what we need to optimize it upon is how quicker the workflow can run, right? But how about an AI model? We can use an AI model, but why do we need? See, AI model is again a very heavy node, or a heavier node than what node I'm going to show you right now. So if it's going to be that heavy node, we don't need it in the workflow up until it's extremely necessary. I'll tell you a very cool node which is already present there, which is kind of a upper version or like one version up of if, which is filter. remove items matching a condition or so and so. Right. So we'll start off with this. I told you that I've not told you about this node, right? So yeah, so it's filter. And what we can do here is you see this interface, right? You've seen this interface before in the set node. What did you do there? You put in the name, value, whatever, right? Now, this time we have this filter node has its conditions. Okay. So it will filter out the post with some certain conditions which are being fulfilled. What I need it to filter out is I will take this total reaction and put it here. So the total number of reactions, and यहाँ पे I'll come because it's a number, right? So you can see that this hashtag is a number, and you can see it's a hashtag here, right? It's a number. So you go to number, and we simply type in is greater than. Okay, what do we need if the post is above, let's say 5 reactions or 10 reactions, right? I wanted a bit more data set, but let's try out 500, and let's execute this step. Let's see how many comes out of it. I also don't know what possible. Maybe more would be there. Oh, we got 11 items. That's crazy. So now it discarded 4 items and it only kept 11 items which have the 500 reaction fulfilled. Perfect. We have pinned this data and now we have 11 items which are kind of the top performing posts of our competitors. We already got them, right? We do not need the if node, right? And देखो, why did not again I choose the if node because filter is one input, one output. That is all that we need. If क्या करता है? If basically is like one input, two outputs. You can take a true and you can take a false. So in this case, we had a convenience of using filter, right? If भी चल जाता, if का भी same logic होता हम लगाते चल जाता है, right? If would have also worked. So 11 items we got that. Okay. Now what do we need to do? We need to start taking this 11 items and start pasting it into our Google Sheet of competitor research, right? Which is this one, top performing this. Now, guys, be a little attentive this time because ये जो drag and drop है ना, this is a bit fun, okay, and it's gonna be very crucial for a lot of CRM integrations that you're gonna do, okay. So now, what do we need to do is we need to bring in a Google Sheet note because okay, now we have got the items that we need. Now we need to paste it simply. What is the action that we are doing this time? We are updating a row, which is this, right? Appending or updating a row, correct? So now this time, it is perfect. Is to append or update a row. Perfect. Append or update a row. Let's do that. Let's choose live demo. Once again, the same thing. Okay. We are just appending rows this time. I don't think even if we are updating it properly. Right. It's just append. So I'll type in sheets and we'll find append row in sheets and we'll choose live demo 1 and we'll choose sheet top performing posts. Perfect. Now what is it doing? Manually mapping the columns, right? It is finding out all the columns. Ab dekho, I didn't do anything. I simply connected the sheet here and it fetched out all the titles that I've given here. Right? It fetched it out automatically. That is what the HTTP, this append the sheet row or the Google Sheets node does. Now we have some inputs here. Okay, let's start the fun part, which is the very easiest thing, which is dragging and dropping. LinkedIn URL, done. Okay, next is creator name. Where is the creator? First name. We put in the first name, right? Then we'll put up a space and then we'll put in a last name. Okay, we'll do the last name. Now, how the output would look like? Shravan Tekko. Correct. Then let's do connect. Content. Okay, content is the copy. We'll drag and drop the content. That's it. Reactions. We'll go to the reactions. We'll drag and drop the reactions. We'll drag and drop the comments. Then we'll drag and drop the reposts. Where is reposts? Here is reposts. We'll drag and drop the reposts. Then we'll drag and drop the date and time. That's it. Date and time. Now it's all the author. Oh, we have already done that, but chalo, it's fun. You can do that again. Right. Creator name, Control C. We simply paste it here. Oh, also it works this way as well. If you have pasted in expression, it will also work that way. Headline, author's headline. Do we have the author headline here? Yes, got it. Perfect. Good. See, now it's all done. And now is the time of the magic to happen. We have not done executed this yet. We have nothing here Okay, nothing here at all. Simply click on execute step and done. That's it. Here you go. Here you go. Nice. Guys. Yay. Finally. We did it. That's it. You got the top performing posts of your competitors. Right. And this is the simple workflow that you created. Right. And that's it. I mean, literally, this small workflow, this 5 nodes basic workflow can literally act as your competitor research partner, right, in LinkedIn. And you change this exact workflow, you change the HTTP request to Instagram from Apify, Instagram scraper, it will do your Instagram competitor research. You do it on Facebook, you do it on TikTok, it will do your TikTok research. Right. This is your competitor research tool. That's it. Guys, was this fun? Did you enjoy this? Did you think that this was valuable? Right. It's fun, right? Great. Perfect. Amazing. And this was a live demo of this. Right. This is the exact process. Schedule. And now, of course, you don't have to do it manually every time. Instead of a click or trigger, we can use a timer based, like, yes. I was coming just onto that because यहाँ पे you'll see that schedule or manual, right? Now we'll just delete this. So now just imagine that's a brilliant question that you asked, right? And just imagine that if you thought of this, how many other possibilities are there in N8N that if you are simply running the schedule trigger, I'll show you the schedule trigger. Okay, this is the one which runs it every day, daily, when any time that you want to run it. You can put it like intervals of seconds, minutes, hours, weeks, months, whatever you want. Then you can put in days between the trigger. This is one day. Then what hour do you want to trigger? Like I want to do this at every AM, every 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Right. And I want to trigger at what minute? I want to trigger at 8:28, 8:27. That's it. Now every 8:27 p.m. in the night, this workflow would run automatically. And just imagine the kind of possibilities you have. Now you can simply put in a LLM chain, the same LLM chain which I did here, or the AI agent, to take all those content, all those posts, take all those posts, then find out the most trendiest posts out of that, create 3 versions of that post, and give those posts to me on an email so that I can review and I can simply go to LinkedIn and post it. That's another workflow. Or what you can do is this N8N also has LinkedIn node in it. AI native, it's LinkedIn native as well, but only action is create a post. But still, you can scrape out all the posts, top of all post. You can see that which one fits your need, which one fits your niche. You can create a version of it, 3 versions of it. You can keep that in a Google Sheet. You can simply type in and you will go and review that. The moment that you have reviewed those posts, in the next column you type in yes, and the moment that you type yes, the post would be posted. And it's so fun. And how is that possible? Is because Sheets, Google Sheets, is also a trigger node. If something is happening on a sheet, like the way that you have added a row, you have updated a row, or you have done anything, like you have typed a word keyword as yes. Okay, the moment that you type in yes in any of these sheets or any of this, right, whatever the input is, that post in front of that you have written yes, that post would be posted on LinkedIn. It's done. You don't even have to open LinkedIn to now do LinkedIn content posting or stuff like that. And this works everywhere. You can do this. LinkedIn is the easiest because it's content based, right? But you can do it on TikTok, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook. And Instagram is basically more like videos and all. So you can bring in VO3, you can bring in video generation models, Minimax, Helio, and all. You can generate videos, those automated gorilla videos and stuff, right? Gorilla vlogs, आजकल, they are very famous right now. Review that, you go it, right? You post it, simply done. If this person company is using LinkedIn Premium and this scraper pulls the data, whether it will be shown as view in their profile, like who viewed? Like, no, it wouldn't, because this is a no cookie. Uh, you saw that, right? The Apify actor was a no cookie actor, no cookies. So it does not uses anyone's cookies. Okay, so it would not show any person was reached out. And I'll give you a secret insider. The start of this is kind of what I'm using in the LinkedIn auto commenting thing that I've created. Okay, perfect. And then there's a huge complex flow after that. Okay, perfect. Chalo, I think this was it for the Shopify and Apify thing. I also wanted to do this, a Telegram bot and AI agent, and this was a very fun, cool one which I wanted to do. But since I had to take that 5 minutes, and then of course, since I had to explain a lot of things in very cool depth, I don't think that we would be able to do it. Right, time's a crunch. Let's do it at the later once the Q and A's and everything is done. If you want to stick around, if you want to still do this, we'll do that. Right, but I don't want to take much more time. It's already 30 minutes past my requested time of you guys. So yeah, but this is very fun. You can simply send a voice note to your Telegram bot, and it will transcribe that voice note. It will make the AI agent do some certain stuff, like the way that you said that, hey Jarvis, send email to Sankalp that the AI automation workflow is live right now. The workshop is live right, and it will send this email. It will formulate the email copy. It will send the email. Sankalp would receive everything. Right. It's done. It's simply that. It's very fun. It's amazing. It's like a great Telegram bot. Like it's your own personal Jarvis, right? So yeah. So that. Uh, the idea is to have a Telegram node in the start. You don't need a webhook because N8N is Telegram has a Telegram community node as well, which acts as a trigger. The way that you just saw that Google Sheets had a trigger, Telegram also has a trigger. You take that, you transcribe the audio, you put it into our AI agent, then you send the reply back, right? Or you give the AI agent tools like Perplexity, the way that I did in the start, or you give it a Gmail tool, or you give it any such thing, right? Then it will do the Gmail actions. That's it. You give it Google Calendar, that hey there, hey Jarvis, schedule my meeting at 3 a.m. with this particular person. It will schedule it, and it will send them a mail as well that the meeting is scheduled. That's a Jarvis in your hands, right? Very cool work. But let's do it later if you want to do it. Okay, but yeah, let's move forward. We're gonna quickly go through all this 10 plus use cases for marketers, founders, and business owners, right? Where you can use this. Okay, this is very crucial, which I wanted to share. 10 plus use cases of marketers, auto commenting on LinkedIn posts. I've already done this. If you want, let me know. I'd love to set it up for you guys. But it's very fun. If you want to create it on your own, do definitely go ahead with it. I'll give you the workflow for free. I don't care. But take that workflow, take it, make it active on your own LinkedIn. You'll enjoy it, right? Classify incoming emails. Oh, this is very crucial for people who have a lot of venues, a lot of uh, bodies or let's say content types. Which, for example, you're a course creator, so course information is coming in, then business meetings are coming in, then this is that is coming in. So this, or you can create automations where you can classify your uh, emails into particular sections. The AI agent will analyze the email body, it will classify it accordingly, and then another AI agent would create a reply to that email and it will send the email reply as well. If you don't want to manually reply to those, that's it. It's a very cool one, very handy, very useful. Okay. If you want to use that, please do go ahead, use that. Okay, perfect. And yeah, then it's create content ideas from keywords without customer interest and their posts, like without inputting the link number. Yes. So this is a very good use case. Um, you can simply, so there are some, Garima, there are some Apify scrapers which do the same thing but with keywords. Okay. So you can simply type in the keyword and they will scrape out all the posts on that particular keyword, and then you can create your entire flow after that. Right. So you can get content ideas, something which is really trending out there. You can get that. Scrape TikTok trends. You can scrape TikTok without even being in India, without even needing a TikTok account. It will give you the video URL. You can play the video URL as well because those videos are stored in the cloud. So cloud videos are accessible. TikTok is not accessible. Right. So you'll still get the videos. You'll still get the content out of it. It's pretty cool for anyone who's doing organic social media. And the social media automations, though, there are so many, right, that you can automate it like almost everything. And then B2B lead generation automations, there are so many, and almost everything that you're probably doing manually, systematically, everything can be automated. It's so crazy. The only thing is it's very complex. Right? You approach it, you can do it. Just ask me any question in your own niche, if you're a marketer specifically, that can this be automated, and how can that be automated? Founders can have a Telegram-based personal AI assistant, which basically responds to messages, send reports, handle tasks, right? Everything via Telegram message only, the way Jarvis works, right? Then it can take meeting notes, create task lists, automatically transcribe meetings, extract action items, create task assignments in your project management system. Once you decided some work to be done on a meeting, now somebody has to type in the minutes of the meeting. And even if these AI bots which are here, they also have to, they will give you the transcribe. They will not give you action items and they will not attach it to your CRM. So you take the API of these AIs which are coming on the Google Meet, you fetch out the transcription, you give it to an AI agent which will create action items and it will update those action items on a CRM. That is also possible, right? A good complex workflow, definitely possible. Schedule reminders via voice, right? You can schedule reminders and all. Then internal onboarding chatbot. Oh, this is amazing. Okay. So, for example, as good as founders, we are always hiring people. And whenever we hire someone, we have to train them or they have a lot of questions about the internal working of the company. So, what you can create is an internal onboarding chatbot in the case where you don't need some buddy system or a person to help him answer those small intricacies. The AI would be now this kind of agent is called a RAG agent. That is what the advanced level thing is in N8N. RAG is retrieval augmented generation, which basically means that if this AI agent has the capability of retrieving data from a huge data set. For example, everything which a company does, all the systems, all the processes, every question answer which could possibly intern can have, all of that would be stored in a database and the AI agent would be able to answer all. And I'm talking about like tens of thousands and lakhs of lines and answers and questions and systems and processes and videos, everything. Right. That's a RAG agent. Okay. So that is a great, chatbot which you guys can have, can immediately implement it. Your hiring would be very smooth. Okay. Jarvis multi-agent system. This is a very cool one. I have a file of this. Right. I'll share it with you guys. Okay. So what this does is this is a multi-agentic model. Multi-agentic models are basically that one agent, there's one AI agent which is the expert in calling other small AI agents which are the expert in their own specific tasks. Right. So that's what Jarvis is. Right. So just another really strong intelligent system. ऐसा कुछ करके इसका full form था, right? So yeah. So this is a multi-agentic models. Okay. So it's very cool. You can have different agents with their own capabilities in their own with their own set of tools and all, and you can give one main agent the capability or the access to call the other agents. Right. Again, an advanced level thing, but it's pretty fun. Definitely try it. Okay. Then into HR and operations, some use cases, voice-based HR screening. Like for example, oh, you can create voice chatbots and you can create some, you can give that voice AI agent some of the N8N workflows. You can integrate voice agents with N8N workflows where you can, that voice agent would interview the people. It would use that interview data. It would screen those people that whether or not it is performing good based on the communication skill, based on the answers that it gave. This is like insane, right? I recently got like connected with one of these kind of conversational AIs. I just had a talk with that conversational AI. That was I just wanted to a demo of this conversational AI voice bot, right? They ask all the questions, you answer them, they'll qualify everything. Then on the back end, there is a whole lot of N8N workflows which are working, which will give you the best top of the cream hires. So you don't have to, your HR team does not, so like you don't need 5-10 HRs now to call people. I have created an AI voice agent to call like dozens, thousands and thousands of people uh, for HR screening, level one screening, that whether or not they are qualified even to interview or to have a second call, right? And that is already applicable in my brother's company, right? My brother also has a sales firm, so hiring is like a big thing there. So automating that, it's a big game, correct? AI voice agent, and when you give a lot of N8N workflows, N8N workflows you can use for resume screening. Resume screenings are one of the most hectic tasks or one of the most time-consuming tasks that an HR has to do. HR jobs are definitely a little bit in trouble with these automations coming in, right? Now they literally have to make like BRs and stuff, right? Because HR can kind of be like 90% automated, right? You just need probably one HR for the legal documentation and all those stuff, right? So yeah, resume parser to Google Sheet, right? To extract and organize candidate information which is the resume screening one, which I told. This was like voice based. This was text based. Like somebody is just giving in the resume, and then you want to decide whether you want to call them or not. You take that resume parser automation, then you give it to the voice agent automation. Voice agent will call. Voice agent will qualify. It will come back to the human and give it to the human. This is a very complex workflow, right? But amazing use case. Right now, it's live. Okay. Then onboarding chatbot, I've already told you about it, right? A lot of HR work, buddy system work, other people who are being troubled by the new intern asking a lot of questions and all, that would be all rectified, right? So yeah, this is basically, it's not meant to replace HRs. It's basically meant to increase the efficiency of HRs, right? So that only one HR can do like a lot of things while these repetitive tasks are happening on their own, right? So yeah, operations, there are lots and lots of things which would come forth, right? Because operations are a lot of time manual only. That you take this data, you paste it there, you take this data, you do it there. That's what it's happening generally there, right? So yeah, I think that's another thing which we are doing. So yeah, we are finally done with the entire thing, right? The entire masterclass. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to hear out the question and answers which are coming from everyone, you can stay. And if not, please you can leave. If you want to leave, you can leave. I have before you leave, I have just one small request with you guys. I have three small assignments, very easy ones. If you wanna know, if you wanna write it down, right? Please write it down, and please do try to complete them because those are very easy. You already have the information of those, right? And those three ones are: one, try to find out a try to create a workflow which does Instagram content scraping the way that I did for LinkedIn. You try it for Instagram content scraping. Then second one would be posting a content on LinkedIn. I've already told you the logic, but try to build it yourself. And three would be create an AI agent which has the capability of fetching flight schedules. Google Flights. In this entire PPT, one time only I've mentioned Google Flights. If somebody noticed, right? So it can have the capability of fetching out Google Flights. I'll tell you the answer. I'll tell you the API that you need to use. The API is SERP API, SERP. Okay. So this one is, you'll have to do a little bit mehnat, and you'll have to go and read the API documentation and try to understand how to connect that. Or do you even need to read the API documentation or not? That is the biggest game changer. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, these are the three workflows. I would also post these three in the group so that you guys can have an idea of, okay, these three are the ones which we need to do. And yeah, that is all from my side. Thank you so much for hearing me out. How did you enjoy the session? Please do type your feedbacks. We'll do it later. Feedback we'll do it later. Yeah, ask your questions, Abhi. And it's already very late. So that was the first question. This person company is using LinkedIn Premium and this scraper pulls out the data, whether it will be shown as viewing that I have answered. Find gaps. Can this flow be fully automated? For number one, find gaps, problems, and potential clients. Example, lack of some technology. Sankalp, can you give me like a use case of this
Yes.
before I answer this?
So
What is the exact question and what was the workflow?
right. So I work in a startup right now where we don't exactly have a pre-sales or a SDR team who can basically schedule demos for the sales team. So we deal with clients majorly in airlines. तो we हमारे अलग technologies होते हैं. For
Hmm.
example, we have a GDS pod, Global Distribution System का, right? So this is something that we would want to communicate with GDS companies, not airlines, right? So right now there are senior
Hmm.
sales people who would ideally, the ideal scenario would be they would have a support of sales dev reps who would be um, scheduling meetings for them on a regular basis, as many as possible. Now, let's say if we would want to speak about these technologies in detail, and we have identified a few set of clients on LinkedIn, let's say Sales Navigator for simplicity's sake. Now,
Hmm.
तो gap और problem हमने identify कर लिया है that these are some of the clients who don't have this particular
Hmm.
technology. So then this this is
Hmm.
the first part, and then we start connecting with these clients, tell them that you don't particularly have this technology and what is the implication if you do not utilize this technology. So one of the use cases is repricing when you book a flight, right? So dynamic pricing will help you as let's say if you are yatra.com, for example, and you are working with Indigo. So what this kind of technology can help is to yatra.com can tell Indigo that hey Indigo, बात ये है कि we will give you a certain set of customers flying always. Let's say for one particular sector, इतने customers आपको हम दे देंगे through our users, right? Pricing is something that we will decide. You tell us that what is the let's say revenue that you want in total, and give me a particular quota, right? So now to approach Yatra by itself, the salesperson cannot go. Now, if I have to go to yatra.com, at a very basic level, if it's a new customer, there is a lot of ongoing discussions that will start happening all the way from maybe somebody who's at the front end and then eventually till the top level. So it's a process which involves a lot of operational activities, cold calling. तो इस पूरे चीज को can we completely eliminate and create a complete AI agent which does most of the sales work, and basically these senior sales people can directly go and start meaningful discussions.
Perfect. I understand your requirement, Sankalp. See, what I'd say is we can totally build. The workflow would be very complex, but it can be built. And the SDR workflow, so one of the workflows which I already have built is the pre-sales training or preparation kind of thing, right? Basically, it goes to the person, it fetches out its company, it fetches out their personal information, it scrapes out their information, it enriches them, it finds out latest news, so that the sales people can be prepared for the sales call. So it's like a sales call preparing meeting, right? That is one thing which is already done. And rest, if the way that you said that positive responses added to the CRM, it's possible via the automation, auto trigger to the sales team, more like a update that okay, this is it's already live. Go check it out. Can be done. Negative responses archived. I'll have to talk to you about this. That what that exactly means. Sales meeting demo schedule. We can schedule a demo, but we'll all obviously need to need to check some of the parameters that whether or not the demo should be scheduled or not at all, right? So for that, I think Sankalp, let's connect offline as well once, and let's talk about this in depth because this is very complex, and I need to understand with exact systems that okay, this tool you are using for this tool you are using for this, and then only I'll be able to tell you an absolute yes that okay, this is can be built, right? But as far as some of the elements which you're saying can be automated, right? SDR and all, I've already done it. So yeah, it's possible. If you want to start, you can start off building this, right? It's all just logic connectings and everything. It's all ChatGPT use it. Yet still, once again, if you need my help on that, most definitely. But yes, this all comes into very complex stuff. All you need to know is you need to know a lot more AI tools which are out there, which you can use in the N8N. Like for example, website enrichment, you can use Jira. Personal prospect enrichment, you can use prospecto.io, right? Prospect P, I think that was the name of that tool. Or drop contacts you can use. There are a lot of native nodes which are already available on N8N which you can totally use, right? So yeah.
Perfect.
So I think that is. If you need my help, we can help you out, but it's possible. This is almost like 80% of this can be automated as far as I can think, right? So yes, let's dive into Francis' question. Can you explain in simple terms like how you explain the chatbot Jarvis? What's the difference between an advanced automation and an agentic automation? See, I'll tell you, automation means anything which is being automated. There's nothing like advanced automation. It's just complex automation workflows. And agentic AI means an agent which has the capability of controlling other agents and doing much more complex tasks on its own. Right. Automation is just a length or complexity of the workflow, and agentic means how insane or how powerful the brain of that entire workflow is and how powerful the brain of that entire workflow needs to be, right? So that's agentic. And then agentics are able to perform multiple actions with a single prompt. So for example, right now, ChatGPT has launched their own agentic web browser. You simply type that, hey, book a flight for me from Delhi to Bombay on 30th of July. Right. It will go to the website. It will find the best, cheapest flights, best seats. It will book the tickets. It will simply prompt you when you have to pay. So that's an agentic AI. Right. You do not need anything in that. And an advanced or a complex automation is just a lot of tools connected together and it's running in a flow. That's it. So I'll tell you a fine line of difference. Automations do not need a brain. Wherever you need a brain, that's an agent. That's it. That's a fine line.
Hi, Priyank. First of all, thank you so much for this enlightening session on N8N. I'm into this organic growth, and it was like mind-boggling when I saw this LinkedIn scrapping thing, viral post and all. So I have a quick question. Can we scrap like one website, like entity-based SEO? You must have heard about that. Can we categorize the content and automate internal linking? I mean, that is the biggest pain point for SEO people right now, because whatever tool HFs is there, the lots of internal linking tools are there. Those are not very accurate. So if there is a workflow possible through this automation.
I am not an expert on SEO. I might not know a lot of SEO, I know a lot of things about it. So I'll try to answer it in a simpler way. Okay, maybe not an exact way. Maybe we can discuss it later on as to how we can exactly do it. But one very crucial element of building any automation on a workflow is if you or an AI agent specifically is that if you are able to when these tools do it, they make some errors. I think that is what I noted from your answer to your
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
But when you do it manually, or maybe you know a process as to how to rectify the errors, either you know the process, or when you do it manually, there are no errors. One of the two things is true, because as an SEO expert, you will have to take care of that end, right? That's what my logic is saying right now. Am I
Yeah.
am I on the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So this automation and everything is possible that we take, uh, we take those Ahrefs or whatever, those tools, we get the information, we uh, we take that information through an enrichment process, which basically what is the process that you follow, what you apply your brain upon, that okay, you do this, you do that, whatever the parameters are, whatever the elements are, you simply connect all those nodes, and then you put forth the output. Maybe you can put up some parameters, give the AI agent some examples as to what you exactly want to do. But if you are able to do it manually and there is a systemized process of how you do it, then it's highly likely, I'm 95% sure, or maybe 98% sure in this case, that it's possible. The 2% is only one, how well we would be able to prompt the AI agent to understand the logic, and the other 1% is whether or not these AHRF tools and all, they would have their APIs. Because I think they have their APIs. All the big tools have their open source APIs.
Hi Priyank. First of all, thank you so much for taking out so much time and explaining everything to us. That was very helpful. I mean, actually, in fact, I've been trying to figure out automation since the past 1 year. I mean, I've tried make.com, but then that was too complex, and like you said in the beginning, it was very overwhelming.
Yes.
But yeah, the way you have put
Yes.
it here, it's
Yes.
very useful, and it's definitely like how Ronak put it. It's very easy to get started with after this particular session. So thank you for that. But one particularly
Perfect.
interesting part of it, which I like to touch base on, is the part where you mentioned about efficiency, right? When you select the particular nodes. Now, when you were comparing between if and the other filter node, I just
Filter.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just want to understand. I believe, I mean, at the crux of it, it's the number of tokens that's being used or the number of requests that's being sent, right? I mean, the efficiency, how we're going to calculate it. Because all of that combined together, like at the end of the day, when you're running large iterations, like in a huge workflows, the overall efficiency of the system matters to an organization because the cost differs for the number of requests that you're making, right? So is there a very straightforward way to
Yes.
find this efficiency difference between, like, now how you selected, right? I mean, the basic logic between, I mean, that you used to select between if and if node or the the filter node. How can we apply that, like, on a easy, like in an easier way? Can we see that? Can we see the number of requests that each node is using somewhere in the N8N settings?
I'll start off with a no, okay, because one no would be more from a perspective that I really don't know. Okay, why? Because these are, when you talk about efficiency, these if filter set, these are in a sense native data transformation loads. They do not see, maybe they would slow down the time of the entire workflow if you use if you use filter on larger complex automations, but that's more on the test and trial. At least for me right now, it's on the test and trial, and for me to see, basically you get to see that how many seconds did the workflow run for, right? You get the time of any execution. I'll just show
Right.
you this. Okay, maybe there's something we can figure this out there. I'll just show you where you can see the executions or past executions made. Okay, so you come here, you see executions. Okay, so in executions, you can see all the fast executions that have been made. And this is executed in 3.91 seconds, executed in 31 milliseconds, 7 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds. So now you can, by seeing this execution, you can kind of A/B test that if you ran the same workflow with an if node and if you same ran the workflow with filter node, will it differ in the time it spent in performing the same action, right? Why I'm pointing out in this execution thing is because these are N8N native data transformation nodes. These are not API call. Okay, efficiency is more of a metric when we do API calls, or rate limits is more of a efficiency when we do a API call. Shashi, love to have you here. Okay, who I says. So these are more of a once again the metrics, these seconds and all, times and all, this you can check here, more of a data and then when you want to check your API rate limits, or more from an efficiency point of view, and then from a hallucination point, I'll do these 2 points more. Okay, when you do Apify's rate limits and API rate limits, you'll see that there is an option called as RAM here, right? That you have usage of how much money you have spent and then how much RAM can you use. And whenever you purchase a package, that same package comes up with some certain amount of RAM, some certain amount of cache memory, some certain amount of XYZ extra thing. And here you can see that build, timeout, memory, run options, everything is here, right? How much time it would take and all these data. You can read the API documentations as much as you want. There's a lot of information. I have not read it, right? But yeah, generally it's on the RAM thing. If you are running some complex workflows and you have a good enough RAM capacity from Apify's end or your package, you can run those flows. Some of the flows you wouldn't be able to run because it would be hitting the API limits. Right now, that is there is a reason why I put in some limits here, because if I did not put in any limit, my agent would run even for 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 posts. It will scrape out all the posts that they have made in the past 5 years, 10 years from LinkedIn, right? And that would take me like a whole lot of time, right? Because I'm assuming that this is how much memory it uses, and timeout is basically 300 seconds. So for 300 seconds, it uses 300 seconds or milliseconds. You can say ms. I think that's ms. Okay, to scrape out one post. Let's assume that. Okay, so the more number of posts you're scraping, the more time it will take. So of course, with time increase, with complexity increase, with more API calls increase, the time will always increase. But all we can do is we can find out kind of A/B tests as to which one is giving us lesser time. We can see where the API rate limits are not being hit, and yeah, I think that is how we can go about it. Then there is one very new thing, and this is the final part of the answer, Siddharth. Evaluations. Even I have not tested this out yet. I know the ideology or the idea behind this. So basically, an evaluation is kind of what we do in meta ads and all performance marketing. We do A/B testing, right? And then we figure out that okay, which one. So for N8N workflows and to just test out the efficiency of all this, evaluations is something which has been newly introduced by Meta, right? Even I've not used it yet, but it would basically fire your test flow. It will test it on a small data set, and then it will give you some of the outputs and a quality score on how your workflow is performing, right? Or maybe I don't know what other things it would give, but maybe you can see this evaluation quick start video and you will get to know a lot more. At least that is what I got from this. I've not used it yet, right? I didn't feel a need to because we are still not building, because N8N is still not meant for building those extreme SaaS level complex AI workflows. It has the capability to, but then at that level, generally people are, means I'm talking about hiring someone to properly code and develop a proper AI for their internal team. And I'm talking this about my Jiju, my brother-in-law. He is a AI developer, and he sits on with code, and he is working for. He used to work for Goldman Sachs before. Now I don't know which company he's working for right now, but that's like a proper huge AI development system, right? Very code native area. So there, the evaluations and testings and stuff they make sense. यहाँ पे the kind of even the most complex workflows that I have seen till date I have not felt a necessity of using evaluation, right? But I think this is what might answer your question. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay.
Any follow-up questions on this? Did you
No, I mean,
did you get your answer?
yes, I did get that point. I mean, so basically, right now on like native to N8N, you're basically looking at the time period that it takes, and the cost part of it only comes in when more number of API calls are made to like other nodes, external nodes, basically.
Yes.
Makes sense. So those are very specific to those particular
Yes.
like API calls. Makes sense. Got it. Thank you, Priya. Yeah.
Yes. And every one thing just I'll add for everyone. Okay, every Apify actor comes up with its own pricing. I think you remember when I showed it there, right? When I was reading the Apify actor, $5 per 1,000 posts. You can find the same service in a different actor and with a different pricing.
Right.
Okay, let's say you're using it for mass, you're using it for bulk. So some of the Apify actors give the same features, but they give it on subscription basis. Like unlimited number of post scraping allowed, but $20 per month is the subscription, right? That's it. Okay, then you don't have to do $5 per 1,000 posts, because then $5, if you're scraping like 50,000, 20,000, like 1 lakh posts, then $5 is very expensive. Then $20 is cheap. But if you're scraping like 10, 20, 30, 40 posts, or maybe 100, 200 posts in a whole month, then $5 is cheap. Then there are some automation which I have only found, LinkedIn Apify scrapers, which are $2 for this very same thing. I just took this one because I saw no cookies and I took, right? You can test it out at $2 per 1,000 automation. So that's cheaper, right? So it's all about exploring stuff, right? The more you explore, the more you will find out, okay, this is a cheaper alternative. This is much better, right? That's the whole journey. And I'm still in that journey, right? So yeah, now we are all together in that journey.
Yes,
Right.
Priyank. Also, I just a quick follow up to this. Like, have you maybe at any time explored Octopus as a alternative to Apify? Because I've found out that Octopus, most of the things like up to 10,000 rows, we are able to Octoparse, PARSE. It's a
Okay,
Octoparse.
Octoparse.
Yeah. I've like up to 10,000 rows is free of cost, like for unlimited number of runs, basically. So I've been using this tool for like about 2-3 years now. It's pretty nice for scraping.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I don't
Does
want
it
to
have
take
those?
your time
Acha,
in,
okay.
I don't want to take up your time here. We can definitely explore this further, is what I think. Like in terms of cost effectiveness.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is nice. Done. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll just read the documentation and maybe we can explore this.
Sure.
Guys, a great recommendation from Siddharth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for adding this. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Madhav.
Yeah,
Yes,
first
you
of
are.
all, thanks,
Yes.
Priyank, for this session. It was insightful and with actionable steps. So, yeah. So I want to understand the pricing model for the N8N. So apart from these API from Apify and from where we source it, there is a pricing for N8N, right? Whether we host it on cloud or
Yeah.
we do self-host. So what would you recommend to do this? Should we do a self-host or just do it with cloud hosting? And what does it mean by workflow execution? It's just a one step, or is a if we have created 10 step, then it will call the workflow executions.
I'll answer the workflow execution one first because that's a small answer. Workflow execution is you click on the execute workflow button, that's one execution. Right. The entire thing would run. Once it would complete, then it would be called as one execution. That's okay. So now why I answered this first because the next thing which you asked, which is cloud model, self-hosting, pricing and everything, which one is better? So the better one is dependent on your use case. Okay. So for example, I create automations which so far have been useful to people who are out there and they don't want to have their own hosting. The use cases are not that big and complex. So for example, if I'm doing for internal teams, like, and you want to keep your data safe, encrypted, and you have some internal, so I talked about RAG agents, internal onboarding HR screening agents. Those are the kind of agents which people should self-host. That is the N8N which people should self-host via Docker, via Hostinger, whatever. Okay. Because that keeps the data, every execution, everything internal on, and it would give you enough room to perform unlimited executions. Because see, if you are running a chatbot, an AI agent, and you're running it again and again, you probably don't want to. You're running it on a scale of like 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs API calls because that is what a company is. And even a small text like hey there is an API call to OpenAI, right? And it so means if let's say even if you do 100 hires and they ask 1,000 questions, that's like 1 lakh, 10 lakh calling in an instant, right? So when the data set is so huge and when the executions are going to be so huge, there's no limit to how many executions you'll probably need. It is much better to do a self-hosting because self-hosting offers you unlimited executions, unlimited workflows, privacy of the data, you know, company privacy, safety, security, customer security, whatever. Self-hosting is much better there. Whereas if you are trying to do something which is online and which is not that complex, like the way that I use LinkedIn automations, and I have still used, for me, I'm good with cloud. Because see, in hosting, in my personal experience, I used hosting. Hosting is a little bit tricky and tough to connect with the APIs and all. It's not impossible, but to connect with Google Sheets or the basic databases which you instantly need, like in a click, right? Those type of connections are much easily done via on the cloud, whereas they are a little bit tricky and a little bit lengthy. Of course, it's one time, so you do it one time, it's done. But every time you need a different Google element or a Google feature like sheet, maps, slides, you'll have to do it manually, and it's a longer process. So I was like, why to waste that time? Just pay $2,400, 2,400 rupees N8N Cloud, and let's start hosting there, right? Much convenient for me. But yeah, and then with hosting, cloud hosting, I can actually provide my hosting as a platform for other people as well. So now I have LinkedIn marketing agencies and marketers, social media marketers on board with me who wanted this AI auto commenting LinkedIn agent, right? So I simply took their accounts, I connected it with the workflow, I started running it, and that's it. Right now, they don't need to pay for the hosting. They don't need to. They want to pay for the hosting. Who would, if they want just one automation to be working for them? It's more like a SaaS. It's more like a service. They want that somebody else hosts it, somebody takes care of it, somebody maintains it. I just want to run. I just want it to be working for my account. In that cases, cloud hosting is much better because to bring somebody else in into your private hosting, then give everything, then do the same process with their accounts. Very lengthy one. I don't want to do that. Cloud is much better. So it's highly dependent on your use case as to what you want to do.
Yeah, got it. Definitely means cloud one is much better and easy to implement in an ongoing process as well. Because I was thinking like just like if I took some help from a technical person to do the self hosting, and then it would be like the simpler thing that we do on a cloud hosting. but it will be an ongoing technical thing that you have to do if I'm going to do a self-hosting.
Yeah. A little bit more technical than cloud. Yes, very true. A little bit more technical. That's all. Not a big problem or change. And then use cases also depend on it, right? Lots depends on the use case. I think we are done with the questions. Q&A is done, and perfect. This is amazing. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. Please let's connect on the WhatsApp community. Let's talk about AI more. Let's see how we can implement AI in your business. Let's see how I can help you out. And if you have any questions anytime, just reach out to me, drop a small WhatsApp text, any questions or any such thing. I'd love to help you out. Okay. Perfect. Okay, guys. Bye. Have a good one. Bye.